Welcome to the deep dive. Ever find yourself just staring at a wall of suitcases, totally lost on how to pick the right one?
Or maybe you've done that classic overhead bin struggle thinking, wow, there has to be a better bag for this.
Exactly. So today we're jumping into the surprisingly deep world of luggage. It's not just about buying a bag. It's really about choosing your perfect travel partner.
And that's really our mission here. We've gone through this big guide, a guide to luggage types and brands, and basically pulled out all the key stuff, the must-knows.
Think of it as your shortcut.
Yeah, your shortcut to getting smart about something we all use, whether you pack light or, pack for a whole expedition.
Right. So by the end of this, you, our listener, should have a much clearer picture of what kind of luggage fits your way of traveling. Hopefully less airport stress, too. Okay, so let's unpack this. First big decision point, it seems, is soft side versus hard side luggage. What's the real difference there? What are the main advantages?
Okay, yeah, fundamental choice. The core thing is they address different needs. Soft side luggage, well, it's flexible, right? That often means it's lighter, which is great for airline weight limits.
Huge plus. Yeah.
And that flexibility helps when you're trying to cram it into a tight overhead bin, those smaller planes.
Oh, absolutely. Every inch counts there.
Exactly. And for those of us who are maybe, let's call them optimistic packers.
Huh? I resemble that remark.
Right. The fabric can stretch a bit, gives you that little bit of extra room you sometimes desperately need.
Okay, that makes sense. But the flip side, if it's flexible, does that mean it's not great for protecting, say, fragile souvenirs? Or maybe that bottle of wine you picked up?
That's a really good point. And that's exactly where hardside luggage comes into its own. It offers much better protection for anything fragile.
Because of the rigid shell.
Precisely. It resists crushing. Plus, hardside tends to be more durable against big impacts overall. And importantly, many come with built-in locks, often those TSA-approved ones.
Ah, the ones security can open without breaking them.
Yeah, exactly. So you get an extra layer of security there, too.
So what I'm hearing is there's no single best choice. It really, really depends on how you travel and what you need most.
That's the bottom line. It's all about your priorities.
All right, let's zoom in a bit more then. Hardside luggage. Sounds like it has clear benefits, but I'm guessing there are some downsides people might not think about until they're like mid-trip.
For sure. Let's talk pros first, though. The real strength is that durability and protection we mentioned. They're usually made from tough stuff like polycarbonate, sometimes aluminum, or ABS plastic.
So they can take a beating from baggage handlers.
Pretty much, yeah. They guard fragile items really well against impacts and getting squashed. If you're carrying breakables, hardside is often the way to go.
Makes total sense for valuable cargo.
Definitely. And another thing, they tend to be more water resistant, which is great if your bag gets left out on the tarmac in the rain for a bit. Keeps things drier inside.
Good point. And security.
We touched on the locks, but the hard shell itself is just harder to slice open or break into compared to fabric. It's a deterrent.
Right.
And let's be honest, they often look quite sleek and modern. Lots of colors, finishes. If style matters, hardside often scores points there. Plus, they stand up straight, don't tip over easily, which helps with packing and just maneuvering.
But there's always a but, right?
Yeah.
No luggage is perfect for absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
What are those trade-offs people should know about?
Right, the downsides. A big one is flexibility, or rather the lack of it. Hardside cases don't really expand like fabric bags can.
So no stuffing in that last-minute purchase easily.
Exactly. And that rigidity can make them trickier for those really full overhead bins we talked about. Also, while they're durable against impacts, they can definitely show scratches, scuffs, even dents, especially the cheaper ABS ones.
So it might look a bit battered even if it's still working fine.
Yeah, mostly cosmetic unless it's a really bad dent, but it's something to be aware of. And weight, some older models or aluminum ones can be heavier. That eats into your weight allowance.
Though you said newer polycarbonate is lighter.
Much lighter, yeah. That's been a big improvement. Another common frustration, exterior pockets. Or the lack thereof.
Ah, right. I know where to quickly stash your passport or boarding pass.
Exactly. You usually have to open the whole clamshell case just to grab your headphones or a book, which can be annoying. And finally, storing them at home. They don't squish down. They take up the space they take up.
Okay. Good points. So this makes me wonder, what about the professionals? Do airlines themselves or flight attendants who travel constantly lean one way or the other?
It's interesting. Airlines, they don't really have a preference for soft or hard. Their main concerns are size and weight limits fitting their rules.
Makes sense for them.
But practically speaking, soft side bags being easier for passengers to squish into bins can actually help with smoother boarding, so there's an indirect benefit there sometimes.
And hard side may be better for checked bags needing protection.
Potentially, yeah, for delicate items checked underneath. Now, flight attendants, that's fascinating. Many of them actually prefer soft luggage.
Really, why is that?
Mostly because it's lightweight and often has those expandable sections, and crucially, those external pockets for quick access to things they need constantly, makes their job easier navigating airports.
Function over form, maybe?
Pretty much. That said, you do see some flight attendants using hardside, usually for the extra durability and protection, especially if they check their main bag often.
Okay. And what about, the super high-end travelers,
Yeah.
celebrities? Is it just about the brand name, or is there practicality involved?
Well, you see folks like the Kardashians, for example, often with luxury brands. TUMI is one you see quite a bit.
Ah, TUMI. Known for being pricey, but tough.
Exactly. It points to a preference not just for the look, but for really high-end construction, serious durability. Because
Yeah.
they travel so much, it's less about soft versus hard per se, and more about premium build quality that lasts.
Right. That makes sense. So knowing all this, how does it translate when we look at specific brands? We've got this list here from budget options right up to that luxury tier. How do they fit different traveler types?
Absolutely. Choosing a brand is really about finding the one that matches your specific travel DNA. Let's start with a classic, Samsonite.
Everyone knows Samsonite.
Right. Global reputation for being durable, innovative. Their hard side often uses that tough polycarbonate. They've got the TSA locks, smooth 360 spinner wheels so the bag just glides.
Makes navigating airports way easier.
Totally. Price-wise, you're looking at starting around, say, $119. Great for frequent flyers needing something reliable that'll last. A real workhorse.
Okay, solid choice. What about more budget-friendly?
American Tourister fits that bill. Owned by Samsonite, actually, but positioned as more affordable. Still pretty sturdy, often lighter weight, and they come in lots of bright, fun designs.
Good for families, maybe.
Exactly. Starting around $73, so it's great value if you need decent quality without spending a fortune. Perfect for budget-conscious families. And even more budget-focused, there's Shokokoro. You often see these sold in three-piece sets. Surprisingly durable for the price point, usually includes TSA locks.
A whole set. How much?
You can find sets starting around $179 for all three pieces. Really good option for students, first-time travelers, or anyone needing multiple sizes without a big outlay. Then you have Swiss gear. Think durability meets practicality. They often have reinforced corners, expandable sections, kind of built for adventure, but also looks professional enough for business trips.
Versatile.
Yeah. And they start around $99. Good for adventurers, business travelers who need something rugged. Now, Travel Pro. This is the one often called the flight attendant favorite.
The insider choice.
Exactly. Focuses on lightweight, durability, and those super practical features like easy access external pockets, really good zippers, reinforced seams. They know what frequent flyers need. Starting around $152. Built for pros.
It makes sense the real road warriors would value that practicality so highly.
Totally. Okay, moving up the price ladder, Briggs& Riley. This is premium stuff. Very durable, but their standout feature is often a unique compression system. Lets you pack more in. Yeah, it physically compresses your clothes. And the big draw, a lifetime guarantee. Seriously. Covers almost everything.
Wow, lifetime. That's confidence.
It really is. They do luggage and backpacks. Starts around $419. It's an investment, but for frequent luxury travelers who want something that lasts forever, it's compelling. And finally, TUMI. Top of the luxury pyramid for many. High-end materials, very sleek designs, exceptional durability, great internal organization.
The one the Kardashians might use.
That's the one. They do great luggage and backpacks, too. Built to last, looks sharp. Starts around $484, sometimes much higher. Definitely for the luxury traveler who wants the best in both performance and style. A buy-it-for-life kind of purchase.
So after all that, what's the takeaway? It feels like choosing luggage isn't just, picking a color you like.
Not at all. It's really about understanding yourself as a traveler. What are your habits, your needs? What kind of trips do you take? How do you want to feel moving through the world?
It's about finding the right tool for your journey. Something that makes travel smoother, less stressful.
Exactly. And keep in mind, this stuff is always evolving. Materials like lighter polycarbonate, new features like those compression systems. They're constantly trying to make travel easier.
So the technology keeps improving.
Constantly reshaping what's possible for, hopefully, more effortless journeys.
So maybe the real deep dive isn't just about the bags. It's about how the right bag helps us explore and adapt. It makes each trip our own. So the question for you, the listener, is, what will your next travel companion be? And where are you going to take it?